A lot of people have been asking me about how I create dust particles in Blender, and this is basically the setup I use for every single one of my renders. It is very simple to set up, it's fairly optimized, and you can of course animate it and get some really good results. So let's just delete everything here and let's start with making the dust. What you're going to want to do is add in a plane, then duplicate it, rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, then duplicate it again, rotate it on the z-axis by 90 degrees again. So you have this kind of cross billboard thing here, and just select everything and Control J to join the meshes together. And now we have the beginning of our dust particle. And so the next thing is to work on the texture, which is fairly simple. So you're just going to want to create a new texture, turn down the roughness to something like 2.4 and the transmission up to something like 7.5. And then you're going to want to add a color ramp, and you want to connect it into the alpha. Then I'm going to add a gradient texture, and we're going to change the gradient type to spherical. And then press Ctrl T to add a texture coordinate, and then switch the output to object and just plug it into the vector and to the location, and then just turn down the ramp a bit here. And that's pretty much it. As you can see here, we have a little dust particle, and that's everything you need for that. So we're gonna create our emitter object. So I'm just gonna add in a cube, gonna scale it to just about cover our scene here. And I'm gonna, to be able to see what's inside, I'm just gonna go into Object Properties and Display as Bounds. In the render view, you still can't see inside, so I'm just gonna add a volume texture and just turn the density down to 0. And I'm gonna select our emitter object, just rename it to emitter, and this to the dust particle. And select our emitter, create a particle system. We're gonna set the frame start to 0 and the frame end to 1. We're gonna put the lifetime up to just something that is higher than your scene length. And then, as you can see, if we go to the start of the animation, all the particles are being emitted on the faces. So we're just going to go to source and change that to volume. And remember to, off your emitter object, just Control A, apply scale. Just always make sure to do that when you're scaling anything. So we're going to go down to rotation, just going to enable that, turn the face up and just turn on dynamic here. We're going to go to render and select object and then find our dust particle. We're going to reduce the size down to something really low. Just turn the scale randomness up quite a bit. And then we're going to go to field weights and just turn gravity off. If we click now, you can see that our particles are flying in different directions, but it's going up and down into the sides, and it's because it's going along the normal of the emitter object. So we just want to go to velocity here, and we're gonna enable randomize to, I find that 0.52 is a good spot. And I want the particles to also move to the right. So I'm gonna turn the x velocity up to 1. If you're seeing that your settings are not like updating correctly, just play a bit with the particle phase and it should reset, or just bake the simulation. And I'm gonna turn up the numbers to 10,000. Apply scale again. I'm gonna bake it. And yeah, that's basically it. If we turn down the velocity along the normal, it's gonna go very much just to the side, but that's also a good look. It depends what you're going for. I'm gonna keep it maybe at 0.6 or something. And just remember to bake it. And now let's turn the world light off again. Let's add in our scene here. So you can see pretty much back to where we started. I see that the particles are a bit too big. So I'm gonna go back to render. I'm gonna delete the bake again. I'm gonna decrease it to 0.012. I'm gonna bake it again. I'm gonna go to just a bit into the scene. Make sure motion blur is enabled here. And let's just give it a render to see how it looks. And from here you can kind of play around with the settings if you want it to be, falling down, coming towards you, or if you want it to fall slower or faster. You can tweak all that basically in the velocity tab here. Let's try it with just going to the side without the normal setting. This is more like a sideways kind of thing. Now this emitter also doubles as a, volume cube, so you can add some volume in here as well. And yeah,